The compound was not meant to be permanent. There are concerns the Qunari influence is no longer contained.
Was it ever? Kirkwall has tension enough between Templar and Mage. But these Qunari, they sit like gargoyles waiting for Maker knows what, and everyone goes mad around them. Nearly 4 years I've stood between fanatics. And now, this.
Don't keep us in suspense.
Leave us. Meredith at my throat, Orsino at my heels, and a city scared of heretical giants. Balance has held because the Qunari ask for nothing. Even the space in Lowtown was a gift to contain them. But now, the Arishok has requested you, by name. What did you do?
I can't help it if I make an impression.
Apparently not. I remember how you helped my son. It seems you are meant to have influence above your station. Speak to the Arishok. Give him what he needs to keep the peace. Can you do that for Kirkwall, Sirrah Hawke?
I've seen hate for them, but I haven't heard anything major in years.
Zealots are bravest where their lies can't be argued, behind closed doors. Chantry leaders see Qunari beliefs as a challenge, not an attack. But the message gets muddled among casual adherents. I'm certainly not equipped to argue the fine points of faith.
Have the years been kind to Seamus?
He is his own man. But your actions tempered him somewhat. He's not so angry at the world. I thank you for that. I may not agree with him on many things, but I am proud of what he is becoming.
The Qunari usually arrive as conquerors. Odd that this has gone on so long.
Very, and I have no interest in antagonizing them. That is partially why I suffer being a messenger today. A treaty exists, and it has been honored. Although...
You have doubts?
They claim they're waiting for a second ship. But it has been 3 years. They want something else.
Sounds like you'd be better off without this headache.
They will not leave, and we don't have the resources to force the issue. At least, not in a way that would leave the city intact. If they had come to conquer, I suspect they would have done so.
Any idea what I can expect?
None. Honestly, I don't think I've heard 2 direct words from the Arishok. Other than his rather deliberate phrasing of begone. If you think his asking me to notify you of this is strange, well, you would be right.
I'm always willing to assist.
Well, that is an attitude this city has lacked for a long time. Appease the Arishok. Take his demand and let him return to dormancy. As awkward as this has been, it is better than the alternative.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you, Messiah. If only you humans didn't all look the same.
We can't all be short and bearded like your people, Bowden.
Indeed. It's quite a shame, really. There's a gentleman waiting at the mansion. He insists on seeing you. He says his name is Dougal. Your mother thought it wise, I tell you, Messiah.
You left him alone in the mansion with Mother?
My boy Sandal is with her. But, you make a good point. I'll run back right away. Before I go, may I simply say how grateful I am that you've allowed my boy to stay in your home. I said I would repay you for saving Sandal's life, and I shall serve you faithfully. It is good to know he is safe.
I didn't ask you to be my manservant, Bowden.
But I owe you a debt, and after what happened in the Deep Roads, I have no other way to repay you. I'll leave you to your business. Don't forget about your guest. Your mother claims he was eyeing the silverware.
You've settled in nicely.
It's just luck. And skill.
Indeed. Still, more coin never hurts, right? Say, if someone wanted to pass some work your way...
I'm listening, Aveline. What's the trouble?
A thorn in my side, inventing trouble and scaring people. Remember Emmerich, the Templar? He wants your help, and some sort of official sanction.
Official sanction?
For his investigation. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected, and he won't be quiet.
You don't think it's worth investigating?
I have. He even convinced one of my lieutenants to raid the Dupuis mansion. Nothing there. You wouldn't believe how much ass I had to kiss after that. Bloody hobbyist constable. Why can't he spend his declining years building a boat or something?
Seems like it should be easy to prove if there are bodies.
Kirkwall isn't the safest place. That doesn't mean everything terrible is related. There's no sense to that. Can't be.
Muzzle the geezer. Got it.
I would never say that. But if it leads somewhere genuine, I'll pick it up on your word. If he shuts up, that's good too. He's in the gallows. Thanks, Hawke. I appreciate it.
Why, hello again. Lovely home you have here. And may I say your mother makes for delightful company?
Another visitor. We've moved up in the world, Mother.
Evidently so.
My apologies, Sirrah. Your daughter and I simply have a bit of business to conclude.
I'll leave you two alone then. Be careful.
Darling woman. A shame that she spends so much time here, alone.
Just what are you saying?
Allow me to get right to the point. I know all this came from Deep Road's treasure. I know you repaid me, but I think I deserve a larger share of your fortune. Fair's fair, right?
Isn't this a conversation we should have had, say, 3 years ago?
What can I say? Things have gone poorly for me and I'm a bitter man. Give me another, 100 sovereigns and I'll go away. If you don't, I'll make things unpleasant. Simple enough, no?
What do you mean by that?
Well, let's see. I think people would like to know just what happened to Bartrand, wouldn't they? I know he betrayed you, but nobody else does. Your partner disappears, and you end up rich.
There hasn't been a single question asked about that.
Yet. Questions could be asked. About you, about your red-headed friend in the city guard, about your sudden riches. Help me out, and my friends in the Carta will make sure the evidence I have never sees the light of day.
There's no evidence. There couldn't be.
Does it have to be real? I think it just has to raise enough questions. How much do you want your new friend, the Viscount, to know about your past? Not much, I'll wager.
Let's see. Do I respond well to threats? I don't think I do.
Pity. Have it your way, Hawke. We'll be seeing each other again, I'm sure.
It's strange living here again. My childhood home. Now owned by my child. I do hope you've been upfront with me about really owning it. I don't want to be at the mercy of that wretched Dougal. It's nice to be here, though. To feel like an Amell again.
Just don't go all pompous on me, all right?
I promise. If there's one thing I learned in Ferelden, it's that good people can be born in a hut as easily as a palace. Honestly, after so many years as a peasant's wife, it feels strange to have nothing to do. I visited Bethany at the Circle. She seems happy enough. I guess I just need to start picking you out a suitable husband. Didn't remarry. I'm sure the last thing you need is your mother watching over your shoulder every time you come home. But perhaps there is still life once your children have outgrown you.
You've been through a lot. You deserve any joy you can find.
Thank you, love. No one could ever replace your father. But it is refreshing to think I could still be courted at this age.
Just tell me if you hear more rumblings from the coterie about protection. Blondie's got enough trouble. Let me ask you something, Hawke. You made it into Hightown. I'd expect anyone else to get complacent, but you must have plans.
No plans yet. I'm simply trying to look out for my mother.
After everything that happened with Bethany, that's probably good thinking. To be honest, I thought there might be a chance you'd want to go back to Ferelden now that things have calmed down. It's good to hear you're sticking around.
What would I do without my trusty dwarf? I'd cry myself to sleep without you.
Oh, don't get all teary-eyed on me, Hawke. You know I can't stand to see a human cry. So, we've got a whole city-state full of trouble to get into. Shall we get started?
It's like you haven't moved in 3 years.
It's easier for people to find me this way. Do you remember the relic I told you about? The one I need to find? I've been following a lead. I'm so close I can taste it.
Isn't that what you said last time?
Oh, you mean when I went digging for that stash?
Yes. That turned out to contain several badly written poems and an old boot.
It could have contained the relic. I just thought I'd let you know that I may soon be taking you up on that offer of help.
Do I get a kiss from the feisty temptress when I present her with the hard-won prize?
If you want. I'll even let you choose where I plant it.
Well, look who's here.
Dougal.
It turns out we'll need to do this the hard way, Hawke. I'll get the money you owe me if I have to tear your mansion apart brick by brick.
So you thought an ambush would get you what you want?
I considered going after your mother, but I prefer the direct approach. Boys, let's make this quick. I want to be in that mansion within the hour.
Have you heard from your sister? Is she settling in all right with the Circle?
I thought you and Bethany didn't get along. Why are you worrying over her?
I'd be terrified in her shoes, surrounded by strangers, watched all the time. We didn't always agree, but she's a sweet girl. I would never wish that fate on anyone.
Our mother checks on her frequently. She seems to be adjusting.
Maybe it's nice for her to finally live without hiding. She's strong. If anyone can get through this, she can. Don't blame yourself.
If I'd gotten home sooner, she might still be free.
Once the Templars knew, nothing you could have done would have saved her. Things will be all right. Somehow.
We'll need to give them answers by tomorrow, Captain.
I'll have them. Dismissed.
The Seneschal was particularly vocal.
Dismissed. You'd think the Captain of the Guard could requisition a Templar or two, but no, that would be demeaning. Can't have them working for the people when eternity needs a nanny.
That's why I remain unimportant. Less pressure.
As if the return of the Amells hasn't set Hightown on its ear.
As long as it's off its ass.
Sure, have your fun. But the coin you poured into Kirkwall tipped what balance there was.
I didn't realize I was making it worse by getting ahead.
I'm just harassing you. Although you are a bit like the center of a hurricane. You've changed fortunes for many people, not always for the better.
Sounds like you're spreading yourself pretty thin.
There are a lot of people in my charge. Someone has to look out for them.
You guard the guardsmen?
I don't turn people loose like Jevon. There's additional training, doubled patrols. Costs are up, but I've halved injuries. I'll take it and argue with Seneschal Bran later.
After the last captain, you couldn't have expected this to be easy.
At least I had the guards on my side. Once they understood, they rallied. And those who didn't weren't fit to hold the crest. Stack friends against the enemies. I don't know if I came out ahead, but it's for the better.
Grouse all you want. But the Aveline I know doesn't regret a second as captain.
They'd have to drag me out of here. And I'm sure some are lining up to try. You among them, I bet. Haven't had much time to follow you around. Not that I need to. I can trust that you at least try to do right.
So the Seneschal's tax collector won't be coming around again like you asked. Funny story.
I'll pass, but thank you for the help.
Spoil sport.
Why you want to squat up here in Hightown is beyond me.
I like the view.
So do I.
Three years. There's still no sign of Daenerys. I'm beginning to wonder if he's finally given up.
This is his mansion, isn't it? He must know you're here.
Would you be surprised to learn that it isn't, in fact, his mansion? It belongs to a Tevinter merchant, one who has evidently given up on the place. Perhaps he is dead. Perhaps Daenerys killed him. Either way, if Daenerys is aware of my presence, he has done nothing.
Don't tell me you're going to miss all the attention.
Tell me, what do you do when you stop running?
You take a breath and look around. And start anew.
I don't know how. My first memory is receiving these markings. The lyrium being branded into my flesh. The agony wiped away everything. Whatever life I had before I became a slave, it's lost. I shouldn't trouble you with this. My problems are not yours.
You don't know who you were?
Fenris was the name Daenerys bestowed upon me, his little wolf. If I once had another name or a family, then they were taken from me. But again, this is not your concern.
Your problems are my problems.
Unlucky you. But enough. You have much to keep you busy, I'm certain.
And that will, stop the itch.
Yes.
Though I would stay away from women you meet in the port. Pirates tend to dock in unsavory places.
I heard that.
Just use the salve if it comes back.
Excuse me.
Things just keep getting worse. I had Templars practically on my doorstep the other night.
The Templars are hunting you?
Not me specifically. They were just checking the refugee camps. But it's not like this place is a secret. It's only a matter of time.
I can't say you've been keeping a low profile.
The Knight Commander is out of control. Even her own people have been talking about it. The curfews, the midnight raids on Mage's families. Everyone I know forced into hiding so they won't be made tranquil.
Justice must not know where to turn first.
In the Fade, there is no time. Emotion rules everything. Justice doesn't know how to sit idle until the right moment to strike. And I can't say I have any greater patience. I fear what my anger has made of my friend.
What's the worst that can happen? You turn into an abomination and start... Never mind. Bad joke.
My control is fraying. I cannot hold back Justice, or whatever creature he has become, much longer. I have not attacked the Templars openly. I've helped the Mages here as best I can, but this impasse cannot last. One day, everyone in Kirk will have to choose a side.
I thought it would end here. That young lady, Hawke, she decimated Flint Company. No survivors. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
My... Hawke? We were just talking about you.
Carry on. I love to eavesdrop.
I'd rather talk directly, if you don't mind. I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
Tell me about this family.
Lord Harriman used to be a good man, but he became rather strange in his dotage. He died some years back. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
This is why the cycle of violence never gets broken.
You jest, but that's the truth. Give this up, Sebastian. Dedicate yourself to the Chantry as you swore.
I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
Why is everyone looking at me?
If this allows Sebastian to make peace, it is worth doing. You've taken on lesser causes.
Please. I have no one else to turn to. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.